Gotta see where this girl's at. Okay, I'm trying to let you in, girl. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, finally.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Yo, it's been a while.
It has been. It has
Jeez.
been. Funny enough, we joining virtually and connecting virtually. Whereas we haven't seen each other in person in a while. But
I know. I was actually thinking, are you not in Joburg? Because we could have really done this in person.
I am coming back next week, so we can just chat in DMs for that. That could be easily arranged. How are you?
I've been, I've been alright. It's just
You look
Joburg stuff
good.
today. Hi, thank you.
You look
Thank you. I
really,
love the
really
short
good.
hair. Hmm?
I needed the break from braiding, cutting my hair, relaxing my hair,
But you know
weaves,
what's my thing, hey? That
or
short bob
that pixie
pixie
cut thing.
vibes. Listen, that one is a winner.
Maintaining that was a hassle. So I was just like, one morning I realized that I don't want to do this whole hair thing and just chopped it all off.
I also I love the pixie. I wanted to do it at some point, but I realized it's too much of
No,
the
the
waking up.
maintenance is no child's play. Trust and believe.
Okay, girl, I'm glad you joined me. I'm glad you're here.
Thank
And I'm
you.
glad for the very prompt response and getting you on. It was not an issue at all. So thank you.
No, man. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So basically, Lalela, I tried going back. I'm thinking my ties with Sibahle. I'm thinking I will not be able to to do any justice to what you've done since. Okay.
Bye.
So I want you to give us a rundown. I want you to give us the journey, the story from beginning, from go go go, as my mother would say.
Oh God.
All
Not
the
even
way to
begin.
the corporate
Nah.
Sibahle. I want the back in the day Sibahle who
The
was
one you know.
back in the day, the Sibahle who was doing it, going into all these ventures, and then the corporate Sibahle, the traveling. Okay, international travel, please.
Oh my gosh.
The internationally traveling Sibahle, doing amazing things. I want it all. Okay, make me feel like I was part of the journey.
Right. So where did it all start? Okay, as you know, but as many wouldn't know, is that we were in the far north of KZN, where we both hail.
Yeah,
I
shout
grew up
out.
here, studied here, went to local schools. But there's always been that thing. I would say I feel different. I don't want to be like any other person around me. I wanted to be inspirational because there was no inspiration for me. So I think when growing up, I always had that fire burning inside of me. Obviously went to a local primary school, UPS, shout outs, then went to another local high school, Ixasale, where I matriculated. And from there, I think that's where my journey actually began. Started my working working life at a local shop at Mr. Price. Then from there, I was like, okay, I can do this. And mind you, it wasn't there was a burning need for me to work. I remember going to a Pick and Pay, our local Pick and Pay, wanting to get a job there. They're like, you're too young. I cried my lungs out because why aren't they employing me?
Right.
I'm good enough. I'm good enough. I'm
The fact that you have
studying.
that
My grades
idea
are good. Like, why aren't these people hiring me?
right.
So I don't know. I've always had that thing yokuthi nje ngifuna ukuphuma eMtuba, not ukuphuma kabi because I love my hometown. I'm always at home and I represent Mtuba nje through and through. But I was like, there should be more. Like like I watched a lot of TV and I could see kwezinye indawo people making moves, people doing inspirational things, but I didn't have anyone to finger point at my hometown. So I wanted to be that person and uqoqo wami njengobusho waqala lapho. Then in terms of studying, after I matriculated, even before I matriculated, during my matric year in grade 11, I was like, man, I don't want to go to Durban because everyone I know was Mtuba, uyeThekwini mayifuna ukuyofunda, or Pietermaritzburg. Like no one is looking in other provinces. I like a challenge, and also for me, I've never been to Joburg. Like the first time I went to Joburg for my studies was the first time I left KZN. So imagine, it was crazy, and I was just like, I am doing this. Everyone in my family thought this was too far fetched. I can't do this. Why am I doing this? Because everybody, yes. You know, when you break, I don't want to say generational curses, but when you're doing things that haven't done before, out of the norm, because people get comfortable in the norm. So when you come with fresh ideas, crazy ideas to many, you're like, you know, so for me, even with my family and everyone around me, it was that, what's wrong with this child? I couldn't explain it at the time, still can't manje, with all the accolades I've gathered, but it makes sense in my head, and that's it. That's enough for me. So applied at UJ, got accepted at UJ, but here's a twist. So when I applied at UJ, I was so committed into politics, international relations, policies. That's what I wanted, like to manifest myself in. That was the type of career I wanted. I saw myself in the UN, the AU. I was that person.
Is that what you got accepted for?
That's what I got accepted for. So I applied for a BA Politics and International Relations at the University of Johannesburg and got accepted for it, which was like, I knew I was going to get accepted. Not to be, not to be anything, but like I worked hard. Like I worked my behind off for my matric, and the results were really good. So I went to UJ, and unfortunately, I didn't have money to register. So I applied for NSFAS. So by the time NSFAS had responded to me, I go to UJ sharp. When I get there, like, ma'am, you late for registration. So it's either you take one of the available courses or you go home. I'm like, what? Home.
Okay.
Home. Like,
Be
girl,
nice
you can't just say
out.
that like in Pumesowe to around the corner. For me to come here, I had to pack everything. I remember my mom packed me a travel bag of like bigger size, obviously. A carry-on travel bag. It had everything from me bedding, plate, aina, impahla,
There's no
food in that bag. So me leaving KZN, me leaving my home was me starting my new life. And I had my life in that bag. So it's either I take one of the available courses or you go home. I didn't accept that because I want to start BA Politics and International Relations. That's what I want. So you can't tell me otherwise. So I made phone calls. Mind you, I've never been exposed to anything outside of Umtuba. I don't know how to maneuver things, but I found a way. Saying it busy in my faculty heads. I'm sending them emails. I want to make sure because this is what I want to do. Yeah, unfortunately, there was no way they could let me in. The course was full. So I went back to the Faculty of Humanities. I'm like, okay, lady, bring me that list. Let me see what's available. I am definitely not going back home. So on the list was like a whole lot of things I knew or thought I knew. Some I don't know what born and all my courses. Then I saw communications. Boom, literally. I was like, oh yeah, I think communication resonates with me the most. So that's how I selected and studied the BA Communication and Languages and got my degree in it, AUJ. So fine, sengiyafunda.
But
Then
uzofunda communications because communications, babes.
I know.
Communications,
First of
like,
all,
what is that?
I have my coolest step putting is in figure UJ. I've already went against everything my parents have imagined for me. I left KZN. I didn't go study in Durban. I didn't become a lawyer or a doctor as my parents had wished. So my parents have always wanted me to be a lawyer because apparently I talk a lot. I don't know if that qualifies you to be a lawyer, but in their heads,
Right.
they wanted me to be a lawyer. So when I'm doing that journey, I think they were just happy that sengiyafunda. Uthi ngifundani, it doesn't matter anymore. Because I think I even finished my degree, my dad without my dad knowing what I'm studying. Like parents, they nonchalant like that. I don't know. Like Baba's just not
Your
doing
dad seems like
yeah.
that for sure.
You know. you're not doing drugs, you're not popping babies, that's enough for them.
Yeah.
So for me, I think I ticked those only 2 boxes, and all 3 because I passed my matric, and 4 now that I'm in varsity. But the rest are like, nah, this is not what we wanted for you. We wanted you to go to UCT, we wanted you to go to VEDS. But I was like, I don't know. And university say goal is say UJ. Remind you, I'm from a small town, no exposure. Everything I know, I hold this information is my own research. So I pursue my degree, but I'm just like, okay, I want to do something. I can't just go to school and come back. There should be more to my life than being a student. So that's So that's when I started doing promotions and looking for jobs to earn extra money, because remember, I am an NSFAS beneficiary, so there's not much money. So I needed to make extra cash because then I actually pursued my journey in humanitarian work and youth advocacy with youth at SIA. So SIA is a South African Institute of International Affairs. So that's where I got cemented in humanitarian work, and that's where I started my youth advocacy and mentorship. So I'm studying, I'm pursuing all of these extramural activities, being a youth advocate, youth policies, climate change, you name it, I'm there. And I'm doing promotions. So in-store promotions, I'm there. Go figure, Colgate's edge. You're going to see me in stores. Then I got tired of it because now school is more demanding and I get bored. So I want something different. Then that's when I applied for my first vacate job at iStore. So the first formal institution in Sebenza Geona as an iStore. Worked at the pop-up store in Bedford View for about 8 months, then got bored again. I was like, okay, cool. No. Work should be fun. As much as I got a lot of exposure and how the corporate or retail side of things work, I gained a lot of experience. Mind you, man, saying, come again, Mr. Prize, promotions, then the iStore. So I'm building my resume as we're going.
Yeah.
Fine. I leave iStore, go back to promotions. I'm a promoter. I was more petite, guys. I was.
No, I was more so follow you doing those promotions. I was like, this girl is killing it. And I think I was in high school.
Like the amount of money I
killing
made as a student is crazy.
Sorry.
Like I'm saying the amount of money I made as a student is insane. Yo. And then from there, then I got introduced to bartending. At that time, I'm doing second year and got introduced to bartending. I was like, okay, I actually like this. Why? Because I'm enjoying it. It's a vibe. I'm in a groove. I don't have to pay for a ticket. I don't have to do all of these things. Like I'm here for free, and I'm seeing all of these artists, all of these big guys everybody pay for to see. I'm seeing them for free. I just have to be there to work, of which I enjoy. And I was like, okay, I don't like promotions anymore. This is what I like. Because you come to the bar, you're enjoying the music, we're having conversation, I'm networking because I'm very good at that. So if I see you, trust and believe, you'll leave my bar, I'll know a thing or two about you, where you work, what are your interests. So I developed those relationships. So I was like, okay, this is the type of place that I want to see myself in. But how? Because I'm an academic. So academic, bar, how does that work out?
No, babe.
It doesn't work out. So I was like, okay, cool, let me do bars. So all the big events, DSTV Delicious, Formula One, big artists from the US coming to
Oh,
perform
you
in
were
South
within
Africa.
those.
I was
Yes, girl.
within those spaces.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm working for one of the biggest bartending and bar services company in South Africa, or in the Southern Hemisphere at the time. So I'm doing that. I'm just doing bars every weekend. And nangapana school, everything is balancing out. I'm living a work-life balance, as I thought at the
And
time.
we had one also in Tuba, right?
Yeah.
We had like a whole
So,
situation there
yeah.
that.
So with that, okay, fine. I finished my studies, and then COVID hits. Boom, everything stops. Luckily, I've done my degree. I've graduated without any graduation ceremony. So I still owe myself that crossing in the stage. I
Yeah.
still want it.
Shame.
Then I come back home. Literally no source of income. You just have a degree, a piece of paper. You have to go back to Mtuba. Guys, in Mtuba, there's nothing that's happening. For those who don't know, there is nothing there. Like,
So it's
absolutely.
like your communication.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
You see, if you want to work
What
at
are
a
you
local
gonna do?
municipality, you have to bribe, you have to be affiliated with certain people. Like, there's a whole of
Yeah.
wishy-washy happening. So now I'm depressed. I'm depressed, guys. It's like I'm back
Really?
home. Yeah, COVID, 2020 was one of the hardest years of my life. So I'm back home, and I'm just like, okay, what am I going to do? Fortunately, go bangu good la. Find a local school. I messaged the principal. I'm like, can I come? I don't know, and shadow someone. So and do something. She's like, okay, cool. You can come, and you're gonna be a COVID-19 officer. So that means that was my job. That was my job. I did that for about a month.
You know,
Then
wow. I'm actually loving this. I'm not, please pin there because you're going to continue. But I'm actually loving this because this is the reality of most people.
it
Like,
is.
this is
It is.
reality. It
It is
doesn't
the
happen
reality.
overnight, né? So I'm actually like very into this
Yeah.
story. So,
So
yeah.
from COVID-19 officer, as they would call it, they're like, okay, you're actually good. We're seeing that you could be useful in the office. So they brought me to the office, saying net desk, office in manch. So I'm just doing admin. It's a private school. I'm sending out communication. Ukuthi transport izoba late, i-transport ishintshile, abakweletayo, nje iyo yonke leyo nto le. I did that for about 8 months, and I was like, nah, fam.
And then you
This
got
is not what I'm
bored
destined
again.
for. This is not me. What am I doing here? So every day, actively, I would send about 10 to 20 applications. LinkedIn was my best friend. Then around end of year, so I got an offer to come work at a celebrity styling studio in Randburg as a admin lady. Nah? I took that job. Luckily, I had some savings. I told my mom, I'm sorry, like, but I can't live like anymore. She was like, admin. Why ungali? I'm like, girl, I know.
You can do far more.
Exactly. Like this is not for me. So I
Juba is
packed
not
my
doing it.
bag against my parents' will. I packed my bags. I go back to Joburg for an interview. I asked umngani wami ukuthi angisigwathise. Before ngize ngisuke nje la, ngine 1,000 rand to my name. I call one of my friends. I'm like, dude, I've booked my tickets. I got a job interview. Please drop me at the airport. He was like, dude, anything for you. He comes pick me up at 4 a.m. He drives me to the airport. But the interview.
Anything for you, Njalo.
Exactly. Babalekile abantu abanjalo. Babalekile abantu abanjalo.
Babalekile, but I'm giving a side eye.
No, not
Okay.
not like that.
Don't.
So interview batting or 8. I'm like, my plane lands at 8. Can we move the interview to 10? It's like, please, 10 is fine. Please arrive. I'm like, kwakhona nje lokho ukuthi bamuve interview to his cut is different. Cool. I fly to Joburg, get to my friend's place, drop my bags, Uber to Randburg, get them. Ngiyahefuzela ngithulukile. Kuningi nje ngiyafika laphana okay bangihlalise-ke kafike-ke uboss lady angi-interview uhlinile. I don't know how I feel, like I'm in a frenzy, like I just quit. I haven't quit my job, but like I just disappeared from work, no nothing, no notice. Uma is against this. Khulumile futhi naye ukuthi she's against this. Ngiyakwathiswa ngiyafika kule interview ngilate. Then bank interview, ask a couple of questions. Cool, like okay, you'll get feedback in the next 2 days. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm getting pull my gates to WhatsApp. Actually, you got the job. Oh.
Nice.
Okay. When I a job on the spot, so I was so proud of myself because now it's going against everything everyone was saying. My parents, everyone who didn't believe in me. Now, my doubts now. After you get saying, what if I don't get the job? What if mahal? Then I get the job. I start the job. I learn the job the first couple of days. I meet the staff. Okay, I do. And so it's admin, saying as an operational and inventory work. So I'm not the warehouse, stock levels, reorders, clients, like saying it everywhere. It's job title, yeah, managing. I start but I'm doing that for about 2 weeks. Then I realized, I'm putting so much of myself to this. I'm not being appreciated. Management is treating me like trash. I'm not worth this. They're not worth me. LinkedIn, back to LinkedIn. Guys, I'm working from in Kelvin. I work in Randburg. That means I take 3 taxis a day. So I have to leave Kelvin to Alexander Taxi Rank, Alexander Taxi Rank to Randburg to Northwold, a suburb in Randburg. So that's about 6 taxis a day. Monday to Saturday, I need to be at work at 7. I leave the office at 7:30. So that's a 12-hour shift. I get home at about 10.
7.
Yes. So you see all these photo shoots about Mihlali, about Somizi, all of them, they come there to do their hair, photo shoot. They're doing brand promotions. We doing hair and makeup. It's a celebrity styling studio. So
that's the other thing you can do, makeup, ne?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Not because I found a place closer to work, but I was like, it's not even worth my trouble because I'm ill-treated, lah. And the last nail was when the boss lady texted me when I just arrived from a 13-hour shift. She was like, actually, I'm going to need you to call my house help to wake her up so she can make breakfast for me at 4 a.m. I'm like, I was like, this is bullshit, guys. Excuse my French, but no, you're not going to do that to me. So that was like, I was like, nah. I don't want to do this anymore. So back to LinkedIn again. Then I see this company I've never heard of, never seen. There's an internship program they're hiring. So I apply. I literally remember when I sent my application to the company I currently work for. It was 18 October at 2 a.m. in the morning. I had sleepless nights. So I had to, every chance I get, I'm applying.
Yeah.
Cool. 18 October. That's 2021. I apply, then wake up, go to work. I even forget because my application is sending. We regret to inform you, but I'm not gonna give up. So I keep on doing it. So I wake up, I go to work. Then I'm at work. I get a call. Hi, how are you? Good, thanks. I just wanna let you know that you've been selected to come to an interview. Cool. Sharp. Because what if ngithola any opportunity efana nale ngikuyo? Yabo? I can't even share the news.
In a toxic environment.
You understand? I'm keeping it to myself. Then I lied to them. I was like, guys, ngiyolanda iy'mpahla zami because ngiyazi angithi bengize kwi-interview ngingazi ukuthi ngizongiqasha noma cha. So can I have a Friday off to go get my clothes back in KZN? Cool. Bavume. athi ngiya ku-interview mina. Ngiye ku-interview. Mangifika ku-interview, okay, nayi panel of 5 people. And the application was very vague. They listed a list of departments that need interns, and according to your qualification and experience, type of thing. So, cool. I'm very confident in this interview. I'm very confident. I answer questions. Then they asked me about a time where I faced or I was exposed to a toxic but basically what they're asking go to a time where I faced challenges in 17. COVID iphele kodwa ayiphelile kahle. Not me breaking down, guys. Like I cried. I just cried. I just cried. Like I was hysterical. I cried. They had to pause. Can we offer you water? Because I was so emotional. I've studied so much. I've acquired a lot of things. I've done so well for myself. Why am I not getting a job? And the jobs I've had, like I've been exposed to toxic work environments. Like I don't deserve this. So I had to share that with them. I was like, the job I had, 2 jobs I had before this interview, I was in a toxic work environment. I was not myself. The company didn't bring out the best in me. I was depressed. I had to share those moments with them. And I told them there and there, if this is what the company culture is here, it's best they don't hire me at all. Because I don't want to put myself in that situation ever again in my life. So if this is the company culture here, please just let me go. If I'm not going to get developed, I don't want to be part of this. And if I'm not going to learn and be utilized in a way that will benefit me and the company, it's best you guys don't hire me at all. Then after that, I recouped myself, drank the water. Then I was back again, answered my questions, left that boardroom with a step. Cool, it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, done. Monday, back to work. Then Tuesday, I get a call. Hi, Sibahle. You've been selected to, congratulations, you've been selected to be part of our team. However, as you know that we're interviewing for commercial departments, but we want you to be part of our marketing team. So that's how I joined the marketing team of the company I currently work for. It is a multinational medical technology and medical devices company. And I joined them as an intern. This is November 2021. My start date is the 1st, but I can't because it's voting day. It's a holiday. Khona lokho nje. Phela mina emsebenzini bengisebenza ukuthi kuyavotwa Monday emsebenzini. So I was like, okay, nayi kampani yangempela. I felt a sense of relief.
Yeah.
Cool. Tuesday I start my job. Then I start working. It's a multinational. I get into these big offices. I see all of these people. I did say, I've never seen this company before. I've never heard of it. I don't know what they do apart from what I've looked up from the internet. So I looked it up. Okay, medical technology and devices. What is that? You understand? So fine. I'm trying to find my feet. I'm trying to find
Yeah.
I do that for about a good 8 months. Then I get adopted or moved over to the medical education division. So that's where I look after education and training of internal and external. Internal, which is our sales reps, the commercial team. And external is all our surgeons we're working with to develop with all our business franchises or our business portfolios, since it is a medical technology company. So anything from sports medicine, endoscopy, instruments, joint replacement, we do it. So congresses, all of those things. So okay, man is saying I'm finding my feet. And remember, I have a history of events planning. Now events planning, communications and marketing is now coming into play in a different industry. I'm like, okay, cool. I work, I get exposed to these things. I now get to travel. Okay. And travel locally. I meet all these big surgeons in the country. We invite speakers from all over the world. We have these courses where we gather surgeons from all over South Africa to come and be trained and educated on the safe and effective use of our product. And I'm the brains behind that. Guys, imagine from a COVID-19 officer to doing, like, that's a big jump in my head.
Yeah.
It's a big jump. So Zonke lezo zinto zenzeka.
But it's not even a jump, eh? It's the work. It's the work that you put in. It's
that get up
that
to
effort.
the transitions.
Yeah.
And I'll forever be grateful to God because there were times I bese ngibona khona ukuthi yazi mhlawumbe abantu baqinisile ukuthi yena hamba ohlala ekhaya, hamba ofuna imisebenzi ngasekhaya. But khona lento ebilokhisho, that's not who I am. That's not what I want for myself.
Yeah,
so,
I think it's very important to have the vision and see the vision and then just run with it. Literally just run with it and have faith.
On that, guys, your parents will never see your vision. Your friends, your siblings, your relatives will never see your vision. I mean, I was once told by a relative, very close, no matric. I'm like,
yo, okay, hectic.
Very hectic.
That one sounds very hectic. Yeah.
So you will have people that don't see your vision, and it's fine. Uzoba nabantu abazothi egoli uzoyokwenzana egoli abantu abahlala egoli badayisa ngomzimba uzogcina udayisa ngomzimba ayikho nje into ephila yenziwe egoli.
What do you feel like out of everything that you've done, what do you think has been your biggest, let's start with failure. What do you feel like has been the biggest failure? Like the thing you like just, yeah, it's a flop. I flopped here.
My business.
Okay.
Because we have this thing. So with the failure, business I've realized ukuthi passion and business, as much as they mix, but passion doesn't equate to a successful business. So when I started the bar business, I had the experience. I've been working in all these big events. I'm like, I can actually do this. And I want to do this because I'm passionate about it. And I started it with no knowledge of how a business is actually run.
Mm-hmm.
So there were points in time where I would put up my business. I would get clients, but I'm satisfied in your service delivery because I know what I can do better. Yeah, Bob? Why? Because I just got into the business for the sake of passion. There was no research done behind it. There was no investment of this business. There was nothing. It was just passion. Register the company, start putting out on social media, and pray it works. So because that's not what I wanted to see or envision for my baby, because I did see that as a failure, but also a lesson to actually do my research. Go to like ask the relevant. How do you run a business? How do you have a compliant business? Because all things you register.
I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
This question is just coming up now.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to break your word, but you actually spoke about moving back home and COVID happened and everything, and then depression happened. I'm so interested in how did you deal with that specifically? That depression of being a graduate, being at home, doing nothing. But like, I want you. The biggest thing for me is that you're in a Black household where parents don't know about depression. They don't know about any of that. And then when are you like how did that look like? What did that look like, and how did you maybe go about dealing with that?
There is no direct recipe or routine or manual for this. I always say, depression, unfortunately, a coping mechanism for me at the time was drinking. So I drank a lot. I went out a lot, and I lost myself a lot. Because manje I was now succumbing to lento le lokhu ikhulunywa around me yabo ukuthi hlala ekhaya umsebenzi uzothola, but umsebenzi awukho mina ngifuna ukusebenza manje, ngifuna ukusebenza kulezi ndawo engifuna ukusebenza kuzona. So I'm conflicted with myself, I'm angry at everyone around me. Ngisebenza obhuqwini from living in Joburg for like so many years back to ekhaya. That was a very
self is not
exactly the work environment itself is very toxic. So I'm not promoting.
Now, how did that happen? Now you're drinking and you all of that, but like you have to come back home.
Exactly.
Like even after you drink, I don't think
you understand.
Our parents are like those parents where understand what you're drinking because you're depressed or things are not working out. We don't have
We
those
don't have
kind of
those parents.
So here you are, you've just drank and then you come back home and then when's in time we have fish or what exactly is the story?
Kwagcina la ngasafihli khona.
Hectic, Sibahle. Hectic. It's okay. Sure. It's okay. You've made it past. Conquered.
So kwagcina la ngasafihli khona, and manje remember uhlezi ekhaya.
Yeah.
Isenzo sakho solokhu phuma uyophuza is actually now sithini isilungu, but sesivumelana nala magama ashiwo ngawo ukuthi you're now helping the situation basically. So then I realized ukuthi again, so that's why ngihlezi ngisho kubantu ukuthi this thing yabantu indlela abadila ngazo ngezinto, it's a journey for umuntu obhekene nayo nalento and exact the plan. Uma umuntu ezivakisa ama-plan akhe ngeke ehambe ngendlela ofuna sihambe ngayo, but have a plan, yabo? Have a plan. So 6 months into my drinking spree, my anger, I was like, le nto le ngenzayo ayisizi muntu, ayisizi mina, ayisizi anyone around me, but ikakhulukazi mina nezinto ebese ngiyiplanelile zona. So I had to change. I had a conversation with myself. I prayed about it a lot, not just when I was going through that situation, but I've always had prayer and Jay with me. But I also felt like prayer was not helping forwarding, because why am I praying? Why did I behave so well as a child? Why did I do everything by the book and became this star child, this academic guru, this self-driven, self-starter type of person for me to live this kind of life? Yeah. So I felt like God was against me. For words, that created more anger. But one day I realized this is not the life I want for myself, and if I carry on doing this or living like this, for myself. And
dude, you have friends, family. Usually it's friends and sisters, and usually
I didn't have none of that. I didn't have none of that. That's why I'm closing the you should be mentally strong, mentally and emotionally strong, because there will be times la you have people around you, let's go out, let's do this. But that's where you actually see amandla now as an individual. Amandla now, I'm not talking about physical strength, but mental and emotional strength. How do you come out of the deep, dark holes that you've put yourself in or you found yourself in? So, because I always say, and I think that was my turnaround point. I think for me, fuck, guys, excuse my French, and say no, this is not who I am. This is not what I'm destined for. This is not what I've worked hard for. No. So this happened 6 months into ukuhlala kwami ekhaya. Then remember, month 8, that's when I got the job after applying so much. And the last 2 months of it, I was actually becoming more intentional, man. Like, we send application, I pray about it. And masithandaza singabantu siyathandaza nje ngoba sikhuliswe phela in Christian homes, but kubalekile ukuthandaza with intention. Like, be intentional in your prayers, because uNkulunkulu, that's where awuzwa kahle umthandazo wakho ukuthi kahle kahle mina uNkulunkulu ngifuna i-afro manje, uNkulunkulu uzokunika i-afro. Ungasho ukuthi ufuna inwele, what if ukhulisa inwele zakho zikhulu wafu, but still kuyinwele, you understand? So be intentional in your prayers, and I started doing that. I started being more intentional in my prayers and in the way I was conducting myself. Like, no, Sibahle, that's
And
not.
when you got there, how did your view of then? Because you were saying you had this anger and you felt like God was like just against you and wasn't for you. Did that change over time when you started being intentional in prayer?
Here's the thing. Whether God, well, I felt like he was against me. I knew deep down that he's not. Like, I knew that God wasn't against me. I was going through a season and so I can feel better about myself.
So that
I
you
knew
justified to go out.
exactly. So I was looking for justification of why the things that are happening to me are happening. So the only person I could blame, it can't be my mom, it can't be my dad or anybody around, it only could be God, because we always will get and we ain't again. So why am I going through this? That means so I needed to find someone to point my fingers at, and it was him. And no change my conversations and given now with myself. I I even laugh at times. I'm like, I can't believe ukuthi ngacabanga ngaleyo ndlela, yabo. But that those are the kind of thoughts you have when you're in a deep hole. When you're in a deep dark hole alone with no one to rescue you but yourself. Iyona mcabango ebusayo leyo. So I always say to people, never lose faith in yourself, never lose faith in God, because as much as usebunzimeni, but uNkulunkulu ukhona kuleso simo sakho. But how do you treat yourself? How do you treat him? How do you treat your relationship with God is very important.
Did you ever open up with your parents,
Have,
your mother?
have I spoken to them about it?
Yeah.
I
have you ever?
I have, but it was post everything.
Yes.
Because during, it was just altercations. I just felt like I was never understood. They don't get me. I'm angry at them because they forced me to come back home. So this is their fault. But I couldn't express that verbally because umzali and uyasazi ukuthi sikhule kanjani. So after post everything, I had to sit them down so I can let it out of my chest and be well with myself, and tell them this is how these things or these words and instructions and everything that happened during that era made me feel. I needed to let it out of my system for me to be well with myself.
How did they receive that?
Parents, fortunately for me, especially my mom, my dad is nonchalant. I don't want to lie. Like, he's very nonchalant, so it's hard to have conversations with him. But I'd like to think my mom is a modern woman, and she's exposed to things, and she's aware of emotional and mental health. So she understood mangwa addressa, mangi addressa lezo zinto again, and she took accountability of some of the things, and I really appreciated that, because with me, if you can't take accountability of things, that means you're not a responsible human being, not just for the next person, but for yourself. Should you're always looking for someone to pinpoint, and again, it goes back to I had to make peace with myself and have conversation with myself and say, this is not anybody's fault. If I have to leave here, kuzobe ukwenza kwami, yabo. So ade ngimkhumbuza nje futhi this weekend, I'm like, ma, yazi, remember ngase ngihamba la ubungafuni ungitshela ukuthi ungazohambela receptionist job and admin job, but ukudlubulundeka kwami bheka manje ngikuphi. So abazali, sometimes they need to trust us, and I always say kubantu into ngeke yenze sense kumuntu olandelayo, like the next person, but if you're doing it with good intent, trust and believe, good results will be reaped from that. Then that will change the whole narrative. But ungakhohlisa abantu uthi futhi awukhohlisi nabantu, ukhohlisa wena uthi uyenza izinto ufuna ukuhamba ekhaya ngoba more opportunities kwashaya cima, wazi kahle ukuthi awunalo ngisho iplan ekhanda. Look, you understand, you just want to go away from home and live your best life, not being monitored and so on and so forth, which is BS according to me. So move with intent, be truthful to yourself, and abantu around you that share a different narrative to what you see, that don't see your vision. Sometimes even your vision doesn't even make sense to you. That's the most challenging thing. Ukuthi uyazazi ukuthi ufuna ukuba la, awazi kodwa uzoya kanjani on the next step. But umzali mayethi awuphumi la, wena ufuna ukuphuma la, uzoyichaza kanjani leyo nto. Yabo? So kubalekile I don't want to say be rebellious, but be with good intent. That, like,
I think there's a fine line between pursuing your dreams and then just being. I think we also hold the responsibility of making our parents understand. So, like you're saying, we can't. I think as much as we hold dreams and we hold these big
yeah,
things and we want to just do them, but I think there's a level of responsibility that we also have. We would understand because okay, this is what my dream is. This is what I want to do, right? Saying us we being disrespectful
true.
because at
Have
the end of the day, we don't want to be, we don't want to be like, well, Zali, well, what you have to say, you don't have no say in my life, and
true. No, that's
I mean,
definitely not the way
basically.
to go with it. That's just definitely like point blank. That's not the way to go forward with it. Have conversations with your parents, but local exchange ukuthi abazali abasikhulisayo aba-understand izinto lembono esinayo thina. It is our responsibility, as you say, to have a conversation with them to make sure that we're all aligned. We might not agree, but we're all aligned. They know exactly what's happening. That doesn't mean they are coming to the party, but they know exactly ukuthi ngicabanga kanjani, and this is how I want to go about with things. So having conversations with them is very important. I think it's the basis of everything. Awukwazi nje uvele uyilawule njengengane ephila ekhaya noma ngabe unangaki iminyaka. So have those conversations. Bakuphikise uma bekuphikisa, bathi uhlalile nabo phansi, wena umsebenzi wakho usuwenzile. Then the next step is to make sure that you live according to that. Mawuhluleka uyahluleka, uhlulekile uzamile. Futhi makuphumelela uyaphumelela, but engakuthandi mina ukuthi abantu bahlalise abazali phansi bebatshene u1 no2 no3 ne, and go and beyophuza utshwala bagroove badanse phezu kwamatafula eThekwini. That I don't want, because you're not living the purpose. You're not living the purpose. You're living a lie, and lelo lie lelo liphilayo angeke lizolimaza wena ekugcineni, because 4 or 5 years you lied to your parents and said you want to pursue your studies in a different city, and when ubhizi udla ama-drugs in another city kuzovela imiphumela yalokho, yabo. So as much as you being rebellious nani and making sure ukuthi you get out of home, make sure ukuthi uneplan ekhanda. Like mawuphila nje uwumuntu, guys, have a plan. Like have a plan, have a vision at the back of your mind. You might not know the next steps or the necessary steps to take thereafter, but have it, because konke kuzosebenzelana kube ukuhle. If a plan unalo, everything will work out. So I'm solely against lento yokuthatha advantage abazali, or driving this narrative ukuthi asilalelwa, so umzali kumele umtshele 1 no 2 no 3, then do as you please. No, I mean, my parents were against it.
Say what has worked for me is having I feel like being prayerful for me has been quite helpful with that, because there are some things that I can't explain to my parents, but I hope that God can. That I hope God will somehow.
They see. True.
Yeah,
true.
somehow God will explain something, and even if they don't understand, but there's leeway and there's grace for me to be able to do what I want to do without conflict and being disrespectful.
Yeah, we can only pray for such things. Sena, njengoba ngikutshela ukuthi, like njengomuntu omusha, we grew up in Christian households, and mina I'm a very religious person, yabo. Like I'm a very spiritual person. Like ngiyakholelwa uNkulunkulu ngenye indlela. And in relationship yami noNkulunkulu wami angifuni futhi ukuthi yenze sense komunye umuntu olandelayo. It makes sense to me. So njengoba usho ukuthi masusithathile ke isinqumo ocabanga ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi leso asiyenze sense kubazali, pray about it. Njengoba usho, pray about it, talk to God about it. He knows your heart. Umzali uzomuzwa sekufonela esesho yena ngamagama akho ukuthi yazi lento ngathi uyisho ngaleso sikhathi bengingayiboni, sengiyayibona manje, yabo. That's not you doing. That's God doing his work, working on umzali, working on the situation, working on you. Umzali phela mawukhuluma naye awukhulumi ngathi wehle esihlahleni, uyamtshena kuba uyena ongayi-understand. Because even with me, I set my mom down. I was like, ma ngitholile umsebenzi and ngifuna ukuthatha because angisafuni ukuhlala eMtuba, yabo. Like ngeke ukwazi ukuthatha lowo msebenzi awulinde amathuba angcono azovela. That was my mom responding to that, but it was like, ma, ithuba ngikwazi ukulinda, ithuba lizongifica ngendlela. You see, she didn't understand. Ukuhamba kwami mina, my mom and I were not in good terms. I left. Yeah, now when I got the job with the company I'm currently with, because ngamtshela ngathi ithuba lizongifica ngendlela. uNkulunkulu spoke to her heart. uNkulunkulu made her believe in my vision because it's now coming to life. Yabo? So, wait, do everything with respect. Do everything with respect. Because
your parents don't have a choice but to believe. I think you're doing really good in your.
Wow.
They don't have quite a choice. The thing is, you have to produce those
now
results.
They don't, and it's so funny. Guys, like they were so against everything I was doing. Now, baby girl is doing good. Like I'm leading the life I want for myself. They're the proudest parents in the world, as they should. It's fine.
Yeah.
But this goes to show
just understanding, I think, and living in a different era, coming from a different era. And we can't really, I think I give them, leeway because I'm like, it's okay. They don't get it. They don't understand.
Would never like abazali bethu kathina, we come from small towns phela banayo exposure yonke into abanayo bagcina la. Abazali bethu othisha, that's the thing they aspire
and
to
we
be
have, also us guys, they behave themselves because they are the ones that mess things up for us. So
exactly.
People don't behave.
So yabona,
and then a whole lot of things.
Umzali mawe visionary nje kuye isikhathi samanje hey uyamthusa because when into angayazi ayibona azabe exposed to lento ofuna ukuyenza noma ukhuluma ngayo igcina kuma-TV and kuma-TV labantu benzani babheka ama-drugs. So umzali nje naye usuke conflicted because I was like ma uyakhumbula uqala. It's like hey phela kwakuyinto engaleso sikhathi Nkosi yami. I'm like but like oh gosh. But yeah, everything is going well, manje. Everybody's happy, everybody's in harmony, everybody's at peace, everybody's proud of me, I'm proud of myself. And local
and God did.
God did. Like end of story. God
did.
God did. And
I think your journey is quite an interesting, and I think it's just a journey of hard work. That's it. And just not giving up.
Sena yabo sometimes ngize ngasho ukuthi izinto zizokwenzeka zingayenzi sense kuwena. Uyazi ukhona le ntela ngaphakathi kuwena uthi kumele ngabe sengi-achieve ukuthi kumele ngabe like, but how am I getting there? You don't know. But you have a plan. So kubalekile ukuthi ube ne-plan because even ama-opportunities efika afika vele.
Someone is saying kwaphela ngawe and I want to laugh.
She was there. This is one of my girlfriends, Uzinhle, because when I wanted to stay in Joburg when COVID hit and pursue the bathing and promotions, which was going to slowly die within a month or two, I was with this lady, with my other friend, the Cameron like my parents on a call. Beshintshana ngefoni ngami, bengitshela ngibuyi, ngithi angibuyi, bengitshela ukuthi angibuyi. So you can imagine the words that were exchanged. So yeah, when my she thought kwakuphela ngami, she was right because that's when I went back home, started working at the school. Like my guys, like everything was just was bad. Was really bad. I lost a lot of weight. Lost a lot of weight, drank a lot, and man, just still umzali akajabuli ngaleso simo. Naku usethi angibuyi, sengibuyile sengiyaphuza manje. Sengiyinto katshwala yasemntu, guys, imagine.
What?
But I know, like that's every weekend. I mean, everyone who knew me back then at the time during lockdown, they would know. Like 2020, end of 2020, 2021,
praise God that you're no longer there.
And you know, sometimes I'm just like, sometimes Simo would make you act out of character. Like, will make you act out of character, but I'm back. I'm rebuilding my brand. I'm doing a whole lot of mentorship, a lot of youth advocacy. And I've taken that not just from the NGOs that I work with and affiliated with and put it to my workplace. So I introduced them to that sphere because their social responsibility was very poor. So now we are doing an amazing project with them. I'm lead for that project. It's a center for girls. It's in Midrand. I'm just going to post about it as time goes on. So you can, guys, if you want to donate and are around Johannesburg, even not around Johannesburg, but want to give, and spend time with the girls, talk to the girls, donate to the girls in the house. I would really, really appreciate that. So I'm currently working on that, and Butte Bars is under construction. I'll come back better and more educated. But njengamanje, the only thing I'm focusing on is building my career, and I just got a new title. So I'm really, really excited about that.
You just got a new title?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I got a new title. Things are looking good.
Can you share it?
Yeah, I can. I'm an event planning specialist. For
very nice.
All medical education related things for my companies. So a lot of congresses will be planned. A lot of doctor to doctor training is happening. A lot of internal training is happening. So I'm going back to school to pursue my post-grad. Guys, things are looking up.
Very nice. I always commend people that want to like go back and do masters. Then I'm like, guys, I don't think I'm that person, but it's okay.
Trust and believe. You are. Like,
I don't think I'm that person. Literally, I want to end at CA, and that's that.
No, guys, no. Specialize. Do more. Like for me, like umhlaba is limitless. Anything I wanna do and put my mind to, I'm gonna do it. That's how I'm programmed. So there's that. Guys, I'm super excited, and I've never had the opportunity to share my story. So this is the first time anyone outside of anyone that has been close to me at the time is hearing this. So I feel lighter food because I've always wanted to share this. You can turn around the story, you can change the narrative.
It's okay to go through.
It is. You learn a lot of things about yourself. Man, you're just saying as because mina phela groovy. Like groove akusanhlangisi. Like right now, like honestly speaking, I'd rather spend my time doing other things, having constructive communications, networking. That's what I want to do because that's the brand.
But it's also, I think, important to make aware that not a lot of people come back from the depression and feeding themselves to alcohol. True. I think you have to say that, and you have to make that aware because maybe you came out of it, but not a lot of people.
Do. Not a lot of people.
So if you are feeling a little bit depressed and you have people to talk to, you have people around you that can support you, I think that just try and open up. With
a support group for real, because like people are not mentally and emotionally strong, Jengam, or the other next emotionally and mentally strong person. Like I don't know how many times I've attended counseling and therapy. But what if I avail myself, I'm your friend, and I'm not gonna comment. You just come to me, we are boja, you keep on going you cry, and I just listen to you. Because I'm the next close thing that you know that has went through this and got out of it, than just approaching a random stranger. And sometimes some of my therapists that I've attended sessions with, I just felt like ngoshima like lo muntu lona akufiki la ngifuna kufike khona. So baningi abantu abanjalo, and others don't even have the opportunity to, but they want to. So mina abangani bami ngihlezi ngibatshela, if you wanna vent, if you wanna listen, if you want to be heard rather, and want someone to listen to you, ngikhona. Nami at the time mina bengafuni nje umuntu ozongitshena umbono wakhe. I don't want to hear your opinion, just listen to me. You understand? So abantu bayadinga ukuthi bazazi ukuthi izinto ey'kanjena zikhona, ziya-available and ziyasiza. Guys, ukukhuluma like makubacanga ukukhuluma kusiza. Venting helps a lot. You're not going to see it tomorrow, but as time progresses, like ngoba dengisho ngifela ngathi kukhona umthwalo owawuphuma kumina ngathi ngikhuluma ngalezi zinto lezi. I felt lightheaded. Umqondo wami nje wawucabanga straight. I knew exactly what I'm going to do from here and exactly what I'm not going to partake in. So I'm opening up myself to anyone, anyone. Not even in a mentorship or anything, just a space, a safe space la ufuna ukuthi ulalelwe khona, without any judgment, without any opinions, just to be heard. All we want to be heard. Like umuntu nje odlula kuleso simo leso ufuna ukulalelwa, and I'm here, guys. Like, I'm here.
Love it, girl. Love it. I think you answered so many of my questions without even me asking any questions today. Literally, you have answered everything.
I always say to people, I talk for a living. That's how I make my money. Literally.
Right. I thought I talk a lot, but clearly
not. Clearly not.
Clearly, I do not. But I love his story, especially, and I think it's such a powerful one. And yeah, I think I'm actually I don't take for granted when people open up and share their vulnerability with me. I really just don't. I think, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and I really appreciate when a person can trust me with their story and they can trust me enough to share, you know.
Thanks,
so
man.
it's yeah, it's quite a, yeah. And I love to also just dive into people's story, because you get to learn a lot of other people's stuff, which is really
true. And it's something that you won't see on Instagram, on the pictures we post, or most born. One really needs to tell their story. From like me, I connect with people through their misery. I don't want to lie. Like, oh, we share the same hurt. Okay, you're my best buddy. And it doesn't just make the next person feel like there's a ray of light, but also me like, this is my therapy session. Actually, this is me letting go of all the hurts I've been through, all the things that have been in the subconscious, because this was not planned. This is impromptu. This is just you and me having a conversation, and just answering and having a conversation about my experiences. So khona izinto mhlawumbe bengize ngicabange ukuthi ziyangihlukumeza or ngingadlula kuzona, but through these conversations ziyaphuma, and I feel lighter, actually. So thank you for actually granting us the opportunity to vent, because I feel like this is more not just you asking questions and people answering, but us really just venting and sharing our stories and our journeys. So big ups to you, man. Thanks.
Hectic, but thank you. Thank you so much, Sibahle. Thank you for joining me. And one thing I'm going to take away is that it's okay to just go through the motions. It's okay to have the struggle within the journey. The grass is greener on the other side.
True.
It's always come out of
it.
Yeah, the grass is greener. There's always, so long as you just carry the faith, God is there. That's my thing that I'm taking away.
God should
from
be
your
at the
story.
center of everything. God should be at the epicenter of everything. Your struggles, your wins, He should be there. Because once walahlekelwa ukholo lwakho noNkulunkulu wakho, ufana nomuntu ofadalele. I can promise you that much. So faith will keep you going even in the darkest of times.
And one thing you said, so take you that one. You lot basically. Don't be stubborn. So that's a beautiful one. I'm gonna take that one,
please,
into my little
and
pocket
carry it with you, because Nkani yakho will take you to greater heights. To great.
Yeah, nothing is gonna happen overnight. Get up there. I don't feel like it. But thanks, babes. Thank you so much. So why don't you can ask me one question to close off.
What drove you to have conversations with people?
Ooh, okay. What drove me? I think for me, I find beauty, and I look for God in everything. And even in other people's story, I see God for me. And it's very important for me to get into the depth and the testimony of a person, to see God in what He's done in another person's life. It's one thing to see Him doing something in my life. I can share until tomorrow and the next day, but what He's done in another person's life, it makes me, I feel like it's just creating that awareness of the love of God, just seeing the love of God and the presence of God in all of us. That's
And what you're
the
saying is
conversation.
reminding me of church. Masethuwa sizothula ubufakazi. And this is, I think this is just another narrative of ukuthula ubufakazi ngoNkulunkulu wethu. And I think kuyagqugquzelana njengoba usho to hear God manifesting in other people. It's a beautiful thing to hear. It's a beautiful thing to experience. And for nalo ocabanga ukuthi uNkulunkulu akekho, I believe ngambuyisela nethemba ukuzwa ukuthi uNkulunkulu wakhipha umuntu esimeni esikanje. So thank you, man. Like, honestly speaking, mina ngiyaqala ukwenza into kanje. Ngiyaqala ukukhuluma ngestory sami, even though it was in drips and drabs, but it makes me feel good to share the testimony of God and what He's done and continues to do for me. So we appreciate you. I think the masses also do, but I'm just going to say it publicly.
Thank you, Sibahle. Jeez, this is a whole lot. Are you making me feel so shy? But thank you. This was not supposed to be, but yeah, that's the whole point. That we get people's stories out. We get to see what God is doing and hopefully change a life and inspire life. Someone could have been going through the same situation today, and just by watching what we're doing today, can just get a little bit of faith. That's all. If that's
a lot, and to everybody who joined our mini chat.
Yes, people joined and people were chatting. I wish we could go through everything.
All the things, no, but I'll just talk to everybody on the side and just thank them for being part of this.
Thank you so much, Sibahle. Really enjoyed our
Thank you. Chat. See you when I get back.
Yes, definitely. Let's go out for something.
Something.
Yeah.
Bye, Sana.
Bye.
Cheers.